reacting to a video that the title kind of confused me a bit. The title is Muto Prime Never Existed / it got killed again. I don't know what's going on. Like, did Muto Prime get bodied by Godzilla? Did he never exist in the first place? Let's figure it out. I mean, I know we haven't necessarily seen him recently, but I think he exists, right? The video's by Goji Center.
Prime,
Let's just see.
Sometimes referred to
See what
as
he's talking about.
Jinshin Mushi, never existed. Or at least we are very close to this reality, or this Titan becoming non-canonical.
Maybe it
we'll
almost
explain
didn't
why in this
exist or
episode.
something.
There's a lot of lore here, so pay close attention.
Okay,
and
I'm
subscribe,
close.
or
I'm real
Godzilla
close.
will eat your car.
Hit that subscribe
One of
button
the
if you
most
haven't, man.
recent
We're so
Monsterverse
close to
installments,
700K subs.
Legacy of
We post
Monsters
every
has
day.
recently shed
Hit
new
that
light
sub
on
button.
some of the events that happened after Godzilla 2014.
Oh, after,
but
okay.
one of, if not the most important thing to note here, is that we may be looking at two different conflicting timelines. It seems as if this show more or less ignores the events that happened in Godzilla
Great show,
Aftershock,
by the way. Great
which
show.
involves the Muto Prime, as well as a possible explanation as to why Godzilla's dorsal plates look a little different. Now, in this short episode, we will have to keep tabs on two very important aspects. One
They always
being
be switching
Godzilla's
something up,
current
though, you know?
form, which after 2014 is a leaner build with sharp, jagged dorsal plates. And two, the state of Monarch's intel on Godzilla himself and the people who spearhead this organization.
Hey, he's real
Monarch
lean
Legacy
and the
of
one coming up in
Monsters
like a
follows
month
two
or so.
characters whose father
boy's
worked
built.
for Monarch.
I
This
like it.
takes place in 2015, 1 year after G-Day, which is referred to as the day in which humanity realized Titans exist. From here on, we
That
meet
would be-
several characters which
could you
make
imagine?
mention of Godzilla and Muto emergence events, many who work for Monarch. Here, Barnes picked up radioactive spike readings in Alaska, which she claimed that we have not seen since the last emergence event, meaning G-Day. Here's where we
Godzilla.
have our problem.
All right, so
in
where
this
does
show,
where does
Monarch makes
Muto Prime?
absolutely no mention of the events that happened in Godzilla Aftershock.
Maybe they just want to
This
forget about it,
sequence
you
of
know?
events occurred a few months after the Muto attack on San Francisco, before Monarch Legacy of Monsters. For a quick recap, Godzilla Aftershock makes mention of Muto Prime sightings in Guam,
Wait, so what is
Kyushu,
Godzilla
Japan,
Aftershock?
the Barents Sea,
Is it like a
Thailand
comic?
via France,
It didn't look like it was a TV
Azores,
show.
and Beartooth Mountains in Montana.
From the
Yes,
cover,
the
oh, it's totally a
reemergence of
comic.
Muto Prime was an extremely big deal, especially for Monarch. So for this reason, Barnes here should have made mention of radioactive spikes occurring as a result of Muto Prime emerging, but she didn't.
It makes sense, but
Additionally,
like...
throughout the series, there is also no mention of Godzilla's activity between 2014 and 2015, as if these events were
So they just
completely
ignored
ignored,
Muto Prime?
or worse, didn't even happen at all in this particular MonsterVerse installment.
I'd like to see
That's
that.
right.
Godzilla
And
vs.
let's
Muto Prime
face it,
in
Monarch
MonsterVerse.
Legacy of Monsters basically implies that all of this didn't even happen. But some of you may be thinking, is there any way to fix this? Can the events of Godzilla Aftershock still be wedged
Bring
in,
Muto
per se,
Prime in?
in the MonsterVerse timeline? The answer is a complicated yes.
It's a
And
yes?
Here's how.
Let's see.
Adding back the Muto Prime in this seemingly fragmented and now inconsistent MonsterVerse timeline will be no easy task. But
I mean, it
first,
ain't
we
gonna be
will
easy,
probably
but,
have to
like, you
assume
know.
that these characters, especially the ones working for Monarch such as Tim, Deputy Director Verdugo, and company, had absolutely no idea of the events occurring between
Yeah, maybe they
G-Day
just
and
didn't know, you know?
2015. Or they just
I feel
didn't
like they would
decide
know.
to
It's
mention it at
Monarch,
all
you know?
for whatever reason. Ignoring this kaiju was a really bold move, given that this is potentially one of the most dangerous, heavy, and aggressive
I would love
Titans
to see
we've ever
that.
seen in the MonsterVerse.
That Titan in
Armored
the
from head
MonsterVerse.
to toe, capable of burrowing better than anything
Not
we've
in a
ever
comic.
seen, and capable of manipulating tectonic plate movements, it is going to be really hard
So we can cause
pretending this animal
earthquakes?
never existed in the MonsterVerse timeline. We'll
Hey.
also have to assume that Barnes also wasn't aware of the Muto Prime emergence event either. Can this actually be a plausible claim? All of these Muto Prime sightings took place in rather secluded areas. The events here could have easily been classified, hidden, and blamed on a natural disaster.
Montana?
The Muto
How is that a
Prime
secluded
emergence in
area?
France, though it was a populated spot,
It was just
could
there.
have also been blamed on a tremor by the French government.
I
Similar
guess,
to
you know,
how
Montana's got some
Janjira's
land
Muto
out
event
there.
was
Maybe
blamed
I
on
don't-
an earthquake by the Japanese. So for the Muto Prime to
That's
still
not secluded.
exist in the official MonsterVerse lore, we must, number one, assume that this Muto Prime emergence was completely hidden from the public,
I mean,
and possibly to some
probably
Monarch
hidden,
personnel,
like we said
or
earlier.
they just, for some weird reason, did not acknowledge it in the show. Godzilla's design in Monarch Legacy of Monsters during the 2015 events showcases the G-Man with
so that's
his
a good
newer
question.
evolved dorsal plates
What do you guys
as
think?
well. First seen in
Did
2015 in
Muto
the
Prime
Sahara
ever
Desert
even exist?
after being awakened by Hiroshi's gamma simulation device.
And the
Godzilla
Monsterverse, at
rises
least.
from the ground, and one of the first things we see are his dorsal plates.
That
Note
scene
that
confused
these
me. Why was my
dorsals
boy
are
just
different
chilling
from
in the dirt,
dorsals
in the sand?
2014, meaning that there had to have been some evolution.
Like, how long did he have to
between
stay there?
2014 to 2015, and it just so happens that Aftershock takes place right in between. Otherwise, there would have been absolutely no explanation why his dorsals changed all of a sudden. Godzilla's
They did
dorsal
change a
plates
lot.
evolve as he matures. In Aftershock, the G-Man lost these in his final confrontation with the Muto Prime to an ability known as a Sonic Blast, specifically tuned to shatter Gojira dorsal plates.
Dang.
After Godzilla killed Jinshin Mushi, he would have had enough time to regrow these quickly before he was spotted here in 2015. So, the second requirement on this list is that
Well, I mean,
Godzilla
in
would have
Aftershock,
had to
he killed
regrow
him,
his
so, like-
dorsals quickly in the span of months before these events. Even though there isn't really an exact mention
I
of
don't really
Godzilla's
know.
confrontation with the Muto Prime, there is one small nod mentioned in the show that could
I would
work
love
in
to see that
favor of
battle,
the
though.
Muto
That-
Prime's
even the
existence
hands
in
are
this
just- they're so
timeline.
cool.
In episode 6, we hear Tim recap on what happened after G-Day. He specifically mentions where exactly Godzilla took off after San Francisco, west, which happens to be in the direction of where the Muto Prime emerged, and Godzilla. Our best guess is that the writers of this show did not really pay attention to the events mentioned in the graphic novels or novelizations.
Yeah, I mean,
only
they probably
treating
just didn't even
Godzilla
look at
King
it.
of the Monsters, Godzilla 2014, and
There's so many
GDK
different
as canonical
Godzilla and
material.
Kong things,
As
you know,
these live-action MonsterVerse
they can
shows
really
are
take
released,
any turn
there's
they
a
want.
greater possibility of these not being mentioned either, or worse, turned into non-canonical material.
Yeah, I don't know
Muto
what that
Prime
means,
is
but
considered
I agree.
loose canon at the moment, thanks to this show.
He's a loose
not officially
cannon.
disproved to exist, but also not confirmed. It is an important kaiju to keep,
So let
since
me
it
know.
does a good
Did he
job at
exist? Did he
explaining
not?
where these two
Oh.
Mutos came from, as well as showcasing the final Muto form.
I mean, we
after
got
a female
those
Muto
Mutos,
turns
like, come
into
on.
a queen Muto.
We need pride.
Watch our episode explaining the complete Muto life
We
cycle
saw that one.
here.
I think we've seen
if
that.
Monarch Legacy of Monsters Season 2 comes out, there is still time to fix this issue. That's right, there is still
There
time
should be a
to
season
at
2.
least make mention of Muto Prime and her confrontation with Godzilla shortly after G-Day.
All right, well, that is the end of this video. Do you think Muto Prime is going to be mentioned or maybe even in Season 2? Wouldn't make sense for it to be in Season 2 because it's supposed to be dead. I don't know, guys. Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching with me. I'll see you tomorrow. I love y'all. Goodbye.
I got a new fashion. This is a new day.